Hello there, fellow humans, and welcome to this video. And today I want to talk about the defenders because they are in the shop again. Now there is two bundles, one for gold, one for money. The one with the money is better, so if you want to buy all four, then go for the one with money and they'll save your gold. You can also buy them on their own or in certain bundles. I would not go for this one. This is dumb. If you want to have them, just go for the all four. Ice-3 Defender only costs 12 euro, but is not worth it at all. Even with the gold and with the gold boosters, this tank is an absolute donkey and is not worth it at all. And then you have them on their own as well. And the only one that I would really consider worth it here would be the Defender Mark 1. However, you're still overpaying because the Chimera was sold for cheaper and is also better. And the T28 Defender can be worth 7,500 if you like this style of heavy tank. The MX Defender is completely overpriced and it is also not that good. It is certainly a worse tank than the Defender Mark 1 and it is more expensive, so it is absolutely not worth it. And the MX 1390 is better as well, to add that. And the IS-3 Defender is an absolute donkey of a vehicle. You're better off be with the IS-5. Now we're going to start off with the T28 Defender, which is a heavy tank. Well, they say it's a tank destroyer, but it really isn't, just like they say the T30 is a tank destroyer. It isn't. So, if you don't want to watch the entire video, then let me give you a quick rating here. This thing I'd say 6 out of 10. The IS-3 Defender, 1 out of 10. The Defender Mark 1 is probably 8 out of 10. And the MX Defender is out of 4 out of 10. And if you do watch the video, thank you very much. And don't forget to like and subscribe. So now, T28 Defender. What is the interesting thing about this vehicle? Well, it isn't an autoloader. That's the first thing that has to be noted. 6.7 seconds of intro clip is not a autoloader. Quite simple. Because a autoloader is a tank where you can unload all your shots in one peak. You know, you peak, unload, pull back, reload. That is what an autoloader is. That's how an autoloader works in this game. This does not work that way. This is a single shot gun with a weird reload pattern. That's all it is. And because obviously 6.7 seconds between the shells is way too long to consider this a serious autoloader of any sort. However, the armor on the front is quite strong, so you can tank shots, especially from tier 7s, but also from a lot of tier 8 standard rounds. Also, the turret's quite good. You have 10 degrees of gun depression, which is a great thing to have. So, overall, it does definitely earn its 6 out of 10 rating, I'd say. There is no 10 out of 10, by the way. Not in this game. So, but the highest you can get is probably a 9.6. Like a T42 or a Chimera, something like that, but everything else is impossible. So, why is it only 6 out of 10? Well, 2000 DPM, good penetration, however, and it's just a very clumsy tank to play, and with how the gun works, and the LTB is going to annoy me, isn't he? Yep. And it's also not the fastest, which is not great. He's not the smartest either. What are you doing? Getting yelled by a wild tiger. So it's not very nice to play because obviously you have 2 shots that are fast reload and you have 1 shot that is horrible reload. So you know you can't play peekaboo like a proper autoloader, and you can't play single shotgun either because you have that 1 massive reload in between. So it is quite an awkward vehicle to play. However, if you like something like this, then it can certainly be worth it because overall, it's quite a decent tank. And if you're buying the entire bundle, which I'm not going to recommend it, certainly. I'm not going to recommend the entire bundle because in this case, it's not a must-have tanks. They're not must-have tanks, they're can-have tanks. And in this case, if you want them, get them. If you're not sure, I wouldn't get them. So only actually get them if you are sure that you really want them and that you are going to enjoy them as well. Only then make the investment. If not, then just keep your hands off it. Then in that case, it is not worth getting. And yeah, it's not really going that wonderfully here, but that's just how these tanks work. They do need quite a lot of love, and they need a couple of battles to actually perform well, which I can't be bothered to do because I regularly don't play these vehicles, so I'm not going to do that now either. So, ammo, let's see if we can kill him at least. He's pretty much dead. Nope, probably can't kill him. Might get pushed by this one. But yeah, 2,300. That's decent, let's say. Could be worse. And I don't know if he's reloading. Probably is. He might have a shell. He just shot twice. I don't know if he shot the third one. So I'm gonna have to find that out. Gonna get rid of him. And now I'll try to side scrape a bit, maybe something like that. Make a shot. Itchy. Nope, that's not it. And yeah, we got him. So yeah, 6 out of 10. Can be an okay tank, but wouldn't recommend it. And then from the T28 Defender, we go to the IS-3 Defender, the original Defender that you could have gotten for free all the way back in 2015 when it was released. So basically, now paying for it. Back then, it was a better tank. Well, because they didn't adjust it, and they did adjust a lot of tanks around it. Back then, it was a better tank, and it was also for free. So, singularly buying this thing now is the dumbest idea you can about have. Obviously, if you buy the 4 bundle with all 4 of them, this is probably the one that I would get rid of if I need credits. But even with this absolute donkey in there, it is gonna somewhat be a decent bundle if you want those things. Obviously, I'm not gonna make you buy them if you don't want them. If you're not thinking about buying them already, I'm not gonna talk you into buying them because that's not it here. You know, if you want them, get them. If you don't want them, if you don't think about them, if you're not sure, keep your hands away. Don't do that because they're not special. They're not special except for the paint, but that's about it. Now, this vehicle isn't even that special because it's an absolutely horrible vehicle. It actually is disgustingly bad. Again, it is a non-autoloading autoloader, where you have somewhat of an autoloader, but it doesn't work like one. And you also lack the gun depression that the T28 Defender has. And you also lack some frontal armor because this is a pike nose, and the pike nose is not very well armored. So there's that. This tank is an absolute donkey these days, and it is absolutely not worth it whatsoever. Inaccurate, bad DPM. The mobility is still alright. No gun depression, so this vehicle is a absolute donkey of a vehicle, and I cannot recommend it at all. Just like I have a donkey of a team, but that is a completely different story. I know that KPZ is not playing very well, but I'd say let's now try to get rid of him on the side. Come on. Yeah. The accuracy is just absolutely appalling. The T26 is going to die because he's YOLOing in for no good reason, which is exactly what you don't want to do. If you're in a 1vx situation, you pull back. You don't go in. Because when you go in, you can get surrounded, you're going to get outflanked, you're going to die. If you pull back, you give yourself more space, and you can work with it a lot better. But if you push in, you're going to lose all that advantage, and you're going to die. Now, obviously, I can't push him because I don't have an autoloader. 7.5 seconds is way too long to just go for that. So basically, I just have a regular single shotgun that I have to play as such. And that is simply not very helpful in a situation like this. And if you have an Object 2 of TU, which is just better at everything, there is absolutely no point in buying this vehicle whatsoever, especially also when the 112.2 exists. So those two are certainly massively better options. Another thing about Russian tanks is their view range is absolutely horrible. So you don't want to get into that either. Okay, now I'm going to have to try to avoid that KPZ. I did get spotted after all, and that is not very good. But yeah, I don't have an autoloader, so I can't even fight the ammo. You know, like, if he pens me, I'm dead because I can't reload in time. So yeah, this is an absolutely horrible vehicle. I have to high roll. I'm not going to, and I'm going to die. So there is that. It's quite a weak vehicle, and I definitely cannot recommend it. It is pretty much one of the worst to rate heavy tanks in the game. Now, what would I give the IS-3 Defender? About a 1 out of 10. And same will go for the AMX Defender later. So the IS-3 Defender and the AMX Defender, they're pretty horrible, and the AMX Defender is also overpriced, but we're going to get into that later. Now, what we're going to do is the Defender Mark 1, because this is the only good one. This is about a 8 out of 10, I would say. And it also has a actual autoloader for the first off. That is a nice change. 6 seconds for 190 alpha damage each, which results in a quite a decent burst damage as well. So, not too bad. However, 8,500 gold is more than the Chimera was sold, and it is also worse than the Chimera, because obviously the Chimera can unload his 440 alpha damage at once. This one can almost unload 800, but it does take a bit longer. So, in that sense, I'd say the Chimera is the better tank. It's also cheaper, so if you can get your hands on the Chimera, get your hands on the Chimera. If you want this thing, then it can certainly be worth it, I guess. Okay. And this is, I think this is also the only one that I can recommend to someone that's not sure. If you're not sure whether to get this thing or not, I'd say you win more than you lose most of the time when you buy this thing. So, I'd try it. If you obviously can afford it, that is. Only then. And with the other three, absolutely not. If you're not sure about them, don't get them at all. Because they're underwhelming. That's all it is. And especially the MX Defender, if you only want that, then you're paying 10,000 gold for a tank that's worth 5. So, yeah. Now, Object 2 of TU, which is a massively better tank than the IS-3 Defender. So get that instead. Also cheaper. Oh. So there's that. Actually has a proper gun as well, not a decoy fake autoloader. Like, what was Wargaming thinking with this kind of... It's not an autoloader. It's just on the IS-3 and the T-28. Like, the fuck are they thinking? But they're probably not thinking at all. They're probably thinking ka-ching. That's about all they're thinking, but yeah. Now, he's trying to side scrape, but I'm just gonna shoot his massive lower plate, which is the biggest weak spot of that vehicle. But then again, the IS-3 Defender is even worse in terms of the armor, so there isn't much you can do there. And can you kill that guy, please? Maybe? No? 234? No? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to try to disappear now. Hello, can you kill him? Oh, yeah. Gonna get pushed. Yeah, mate, he just got himself stuck. Lol. And he's dead. Beautiful. That's... Why do people push in 1vx situations? I don't understand that. Like, why do you push in a situation like that? You're at a disadvantage. Pull back, get some separation, get some distance, and then you can maybe get some more damage as well. If you push in, you're just gonna get completely destroyed. So don't do that. If you're in a 1vx situation, try to get some distance, try to get some separation, and you're gonna do a lot better than if you were just to charge in. Because obviously if you charge in, you're just gonna die. You're not gonna get anything done because they have more guns than you and you're dead. And that's exactly what you want to avoid. And you want to put on more fire onto them than they can put onto you. And that is exactly what you don't do when you have the SU just YOLOs into 3 people. So don't do that. Now, as you can see, it's a very good tank. Also, instantly performs a lot better without any effort. And it is also a lot more enjoyable tank. The ISU Defender can't hit anything. It's simply just frustrating and nothing else. And it is very sad that that tank, which used to be free, is now sold for a lot of gold. But this thing, definitely 8 out of 10, can certainly be worth it. And the last one is the MX Defender, which is a donkey of a light tank. The MX 1390 is better, the T49 is more fun, the RU251 and M490 are more effective, and this thing mainly just exists for 10,000 gold, mind you. That is the price that Wargaming thinks this thing is worth, which it absolutely is not. It's worth about 5k with equipment. So this thing is not the worst of the Defenders, because it's an actual autoloader, unlike the T28 and the IS-3. However, it is very hard to play, and it is not very nice to play either. Because obviously, while you do have a real autoloader, you only have 160 alpha damage, which means you gotta have to get a lot of shots downrange, and that's just not very fun, I'd say, because first of all, your finger's gonna hurt, and second of all, it is gonna be very annoying when you shoot 100 times, but you still haven't done any damage, like I'm doing on that ML. It's just not very amazing. And what I would like to do here is push that KV3. Also, the KV3 is pushing me. So I'm still reloading though. I have to watch out for the ammo. And I'm gonna have to go around him now. Penetration on this thing is also quite weak, so you're gonna have to watch out for that. And there's the ammo. So not very nice. Okay. Still there though, so we're gonna have to watch out and hope that the Comet gets shot by the ammo and not me. Obviously he's here, so he has a better shot on me, and he just got shot by someone. Now let's try and unload on him. So APCR for good measure, and there we go, 1.2k damage so far, which is decent, I suppose. And now I think the goal should be to try and either find the ammo or that 53 TP. Comet is dead, and he is stock, so there is that. Yeah, I love not being able to pin shots. And he missed. Wonderful. And almost dead. And now there's only 3 heavies left, and the MX is gonna do just fine here. Okay, Sumo and the 45 back there. So, ideally what you want to do with a vehicle like this is you want to shoot at the enemy while the enemy is not shooting at you, which is what you don't want to do with any tank to do high damage. But especially when you're with your team like this, and the enemy can shoot someone else, and then you just avoid getting shot at, and that is how you're going to survive in this vehicle, because that's pretty much the best way. Because obviously you don't have any armor. You don't have gun depression either, which is not very nice. But you can work without it, I'd say. And there's not that big of a deal with this thing. But overall, I'd say it is never worth 10,000 gold if it's worth sold for 5k. I mean, even 6k I'd still be fine with. But for 10k, it is an absolute joke. And I would absolutely never ever get it for that much money. If you have all 4 tanks in the bundle, if you want them, I can't stop you from getting it. I can't recommend it, however. There are certainly better options out there, and also better tanks that are going to bring you more fun. And, well, I hope this video was a good option, because that is it. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one. Goodbye.